We're talking about the Ducks going to Northwestern.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Northwestern looked really bad in week 1.
Yes.
They went to Tulane and turned it over 800 times and lost.
Got slaughtered by the BYU.
And then last week they stepped it up.
Western
and,
Illinois.
Whatever. But they won.
I wasn't aware that there was a Western Illinois, but apparently
they're not very good at football.
No, and I thought they were the Bulldogs. Turns out they're the Leathernecks, but they have a Bulldog mascot.
That seems offensive. I don't know if it is, but it seems
Leatherneck, I believe, is a term for Marines. And hence, I think the Bulldog...
Is that offensive?
I think Marines like being called Leathernecks. I think that's so...
And why would they be called Leather?
I think kind of the tough, like the sunburnt sort of thing, like it, outdoor working man. I think it's a term of endearment.
Okay.
I think.
I'll trust you.
But,
it just doesn't sound
in
good.
this day and age.
You know what I mean? It doesn't sound good.
Yeah.
Like if I called you a leatherneck.
Well, I'm not a Marine.
It sounds derogatory.
Yeah. Because early in the history of the uniforms included, a stiff collar worn around the neck to protect against saber slashes.
Damn.
And boarding enemy ships. Okay, so part of the dress uniform. Even now they have that.
Leatherneck, so they don't get saber slash and their head cut off?
Yes.
God.
So that's like in their uniform now, in the dresses, how they have that collar. I guess that's where that.
That is intense, and now I love it.
So I guess in those, they put
Still
leather
does sound
in
like
those
a slur.
It does.
originally. But now they don't have those anymore. They've taken the leather out. Now it's just...
Yeah, they're not going to get sabered.
No, but that's kind of... So, yes, I'm guessing then that is a proud thing. 1798 is when that
Do you think
they started that.
Do you think it'd be cool if Western Illinois wore that on their part of their uniform? Like, so they couldn't get sabered out there?
Well, some people do. Like hockey has that where they wear a guard around their neck. And I think Illinois did this where they painted, or it might have been Indiana. One of them painted their helmets to look like the old leather football helmets last year. It was kind of
who did that? I remember that.
I think it was Indiana or Illinois, one of those two. So
sounds right.
Maybe the Western Illinois Leathernecks, although when you're losing 42-7, you probably have other things to worry about.
Than your neck. Well, I like Western Illinois now.
Go Leathernecks.
So here is the...
If they get a bad back, they die.
Here is the Northwestern coach, David Braun, on Oregon.
Incredible opportunity this weekend with Oregon coming into town, opening up Big Ten play. I'll tell you what, Coach Lanning has done an exceptional job at Oregon. Not only are they very talented, but they are incredibly well coached. There's not a single stone that will go unturned by him and his staff. They're going to be aggressive. They're going to try and apply pressure in a lot of different ways in all three phases. On top of being extremely talented, They are fundamentally sound. They're physical. They play hard. They finish plays. All you have to do is, certainly turn on the tape from last year, but turn on the tape from their first two games, and it doesn't take long to, find a profound, respect for the quality of a football team that they have and the task that we have right in front of us this Saturday.
Now that is how you get a team to overlook you.
That is how you get a team to not...
Mike Gundy.
Translation, I don't want that Mike Gundy smoke. Please don't hang 50 on me.
You know for a fact that that there was an element of, look, I ain't giving these guys any reason to get pissed at us.
Guys, let's not get crazy here.
Dan Lanning, I would like to point out the Dan Lanning staff is not only ruggedly handsome, but also well prepared, and no stone will be unturned.
They're great tippers. They help old ladies across the street.
By all accounts, I think he's great on the grill. Seems like a wonderful father. Please don't hang 69 on us in our own building. And if you could, take your foot off the gas somewhere in the middle of the second quarter, that would be great.
So we have Lanning on every Thursday at 4, although I have to report to you
it's up in the air.
It's
in limbo.
We may not get him on Thursday because they're traveling.
Yeah, they're going to go a day early because of the early kick out in Chicago.
Yeah, what time did the kids say that they're getting up to go to the...
A kid from the Oregon defensive backs group, and I don't know if this goes for the entire team or if they're just doing this themselves, but he says they've been waking up at 4 a.m. and getting to the facility at 5 a.m. to simulate what they're going to be doing a couple time zones over on Saturday.
Yeah, and you got the 9 a.m. kick. You got the early one, so...
But that's 11 out there.
Yes.
It is 11 out there, but they're not used to starting their day so late and then playing essentially what's a 9 a.m. game for them. So they're getting their whole routine started super early.
Hey, no stone unturned.
Nope, go out a day early, and I think more and more teams now that have the resources are doing that when you're having to go a couple time zones over.
Yeah, let's do that.
So anyway, Dan Lanning may or may not be on our show on Thursday. We don't know.
Yeah.
The fun part about it is if he is on our show, we'll be at a casino.
Oh, yeah.
And so we will talk to him exclusively about gambling.
I wonder if he's a craps guy.
We've talked to him about this before.
Have we?
Yeah, he's not much of a
Yeah,
gambler,
I
but he
can't-
said he liked poker
Oh.
at one point, but he's not a huge.
I can't imagine him at a casino throwing down.
Anyway, Dan Lanning has done it again. Now, last week when we had him on, I asked him, I said, where do you come up with all your one-liners? Like, because you're really good at that. And he said, I don't know. I don't look them up. I just off the top of my head, I'm like, wow, that's really he says the right thing concisely
All the time.
at the right time.
Yeah.
Quite often.
Yeah.
If not all the time, and he always has a really good anecdote.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times it's a cooking reference.
Well, and there's a difference
You know
because
what? I'm
sometimes in
gonna cook
press
on your grill.
press conferences like that was on our show. He does do a message like the gladiator thumbs up, thumbs down thing. So those I think are more premeditated, which is what I think this Oklahoma State one was.
Well, it had to be.
It had to
There's
be.
no way he came up with this off the top of his head.
No.
There's just no way. And that's kind of what I was getting at. I'm like, dude, because I was kind of lumping them all together. But
Sure.
I'm guessing he interpreted my question as just the stuff like what he said in retort to Mike Gundy.
Yeah.
This is more pregame speech, hyping up the team type stuff.
Yeah, he's got a good idea when he's going into this.
And
What
it has
he's
extra
gonna
juice
say.
this week because of all that other
Yes.
stuff.
Yeah.
But you still would have been able to use this regardless.
It's like a preacher that puts together a sermon. It's not going to be word for word, but you get a good idea whether you're reading
Right.
from Leviticus or you're reading,
Yeah. So
You're reading some Paul.
I'm guessing this is directly from Leviticus. Because, dude, Dan Lanning's got it.
Great.
Here was his pregame speech, or part of it, against pre-Oklahoma State.
Let it rip. The great thing about us is we don't need any extra motivation to come in and want to whoop your ass. But it sure does help when your opponent pours a little gasoline on you. And they poured a little gasoline. The great thing about this game is what they think versus what I know. I know about this team's work. I know about this team's sacrifice. I know about this team's connection. Right? That's going to be a separator in this game. Because if you're going to come in and you're going to be talking shit, it's time to cowboy up. But guess what? The Bull don't care. And today, we're the Bull. Let's go whoop their ass.
Yes,
Let's go!
Thank God, I want to go outside and run.
I have goosebumps right now.
Sprint down the street
I will. When this has been documented in the 20 years we've been together,
naked.
no one is harder to motivate than me. I hate pregame speeches. They're stupid. I've never had a good one in all the years I've played. No offense, but Lavelle Edwards was the world's worst pregame speech guy of all time. If anything, he made me less fired up. I find him corny, and just please don't. That, oh my God, that's him. Even me. I'm like, yes. It's time to cowboy up, but the Bull don't care.
I'm going to play it again. Now, listen closely to what he says here. Because, again, this is all based off of Gundy saying, oh, they spent $40 million, and how we going to compete with that? We can't
spend
compete
to
with
win.
that. Here's what, so listen close.
That's so
Let it rip. The great thing about us is we don't need any extra motivation to come in and want to whoop your ass. But it sure does help when your opponent pours a little gasoline on you. And they poured a little gasoline. The great thing about this game is what they think versus what I know. I know about this team's work. I know about this team's sacrifice. I know about this team's connection. Right? That's going to be a separator in this game. Because if you're going to come in and you're going to be talking shit, it's time to cowboy up. But guess what? The Bull don't care. And today, we're the Bull. Let's go whoop their ass.
Dude, the best part of that is, let's go whoop their ass.
right?
I like the rising players. Hell yeah, as it's going on.
Oh,
Dude, it's
man.
just that is.
Dan Lanning's got it.
There's a handful. Ray Lewis was this way. If you ever listen to any Ray Lewis's stuff, he had a knack for it, and Lanning does. Like
He's good at it.
He is really, really good at it, and just even the inflection in which he, like, you're right. Like, it starts off with the, if you're gonna be talking ass,
Let's go whip their ass. Can you isolate that? I don't know if it would be.
Yeah, I can get that.
I don't know if it's
I
a
think I
drop.
can get that. I got this already.
Today, we're the Bull.
Yeah, Well, if he comes on Thursday, we'll have to talk to
It's-
him about it.
Look, he's got some good ones, and and I don't know if this is recency bias, but that is my favorite one. That's one that if I was in the locker room, I'd be like, all right, you got me. Like,
Yeah.
I may be a cynical bastard, but
I mean,
let's go.
So from a gambling perspective,
Yeah.
if I had seen that before
Ducks by 1,000.
yes, Ducks by 1,000,000.
I told you, the moment Mike Gundy made those comments, I was like, dude, I'm telling you, this is gonna be
You and me
personal.
laid it. We
Yeah.
laid the 27.5
Well,
right then.
It has become a thing because that's what Dion did too.
Yeah.
Right? Like, Dion didn't say anything.
Yeah.
But Dion was getting all the love last
Yeah.
year, and Oregon was getting ready to host Colorado. Or was it there? No, it was here.
It was here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Lanning didn't like that.
No,
And he's like, dude,
I
can
go get your ass whooped.
Yes, and it gave him an extra motivation, and that's the same thing Gundy did. And it's become a thing where if you do that with Lanning, which is exactly what why David Braun was playing it so
Yes.
close to the vest, dude, you don't want that.
Someone said I'm a duck hater over here as a Husky fan, and I'm absolutely fired up after hearing that.
Let's go whip their ass. All red
Time
face.
to cowboy up, but the
God,
bull
man.
don't care.
And the other thing about Lanning too is he's kind of got a cool factor about him.
Yeah.
Like some guys can't pull that off.
There's a swagger with it.
Which is
Yeah.
why I said I've never in my life, in all the years that I've played, have had a cool motivational speech, because it always comes across as like, if Brian, no offense, Brian Kelly's a really good coach, but I've been in locker rooms where there's a Brian Kelly type and you're like, oh my God, you are such a tryhard. You sound like an ass. And maybe it's the youth and that he's a little more relatable, but it works. There's something about when it comes from him that it just works. And I think you're starting to see why he's so good on the recruiting trail, why he's so good with parents and kids, why the boosters like him. There's something. They caught lightning in a bottle. They
found a good one.
they found a good one.
No, they did before that. I mean, Cristobal was good.
Yep.
But before that, you made a couple mistakes.
Yeah.
Taggart was a mistake.
Yep.
You could argue Helfrich was a
Helfrich,
mistake.
yeah.
And so they really needed to find one at this. That was the fourth coach in 5 years.
It was a big. This
Or
was
6 years?
This was a absolute key hire, and you kind of went with a bit of an unknown on the young guy, which is why, if I'm running a program, this is like we're always trying to find. Like I don't want the retread, and don't give me the guy that's been around the block. Just go find me the young coordinator that wants to work 22 hours a day. Go find me this
There we
psycho. That's why, like, Kenny Dillingham to me seems a bit much. Like, it's a bit over the top for me. But I want Kenny. If I'm a program, I want Kenny Dillingham. I want Dan Lanning. I want it.
The young guy energy.
Yes. I don't want old and stoic and Brian Kelly, even though he's a hell of a coach. I want a guy that's got some juice. I think that better relates to the game that we have right now and the kids that you're having to go get. And in the NIL world, I think that matters.
Okay, guys. That was for the good of the game. Ducks, one of just 3 teams so far averaging over 10 yards per play.
Mm-hmm.
The other 2 being USC
Yeah.
and Arkansas.
Yeah. Bobby Petrino made a comparison with his quarterback to someone that Bobby Petrino knows well.
Was he the coach for Lamar?
Yeah.
Because they're running all over
Yeah.
people.
Bobby put out a tweet of
What's the kid's name?
God, I was watching this just today. And I'm drawing a blank on it. I'll have to look it up. But he put out a tweet of his quarterback doing a hurdle. I mean, and he's just sky high.
Talon Green?
Yeah, I think that's it. Sky high over a kid, and Petrina goes, I've seen this somewhere before, and then right below it, there was a picture of Lamar doing the same thing. So, look, I mean, it's
And Petrino's the offensive coordinator there?
yeah, and it's one of those things that, like, to make that comparison, it's a bold statement, but I mean, he would know, he would know, and
Well,
they are crushing people.
Are they? Let's see here.
They're 2-0,
Yeah,
but they beat
2-0.
no one. It's Alabama A&M and Arkansas State.
Okay, but he has 10 touchdowns passing
Yes.
and 1 touchdown rushing. So here are Talon Green stats, and you're right, 2 cupcakes.
They
But
got Ole
they've
Miss.
scored.
They got Ole Miss this week, though.
They've scored 108 points.
Mhm.
He has 561 passing yards, completing 72% of his passes, 10 tutties, 2 picks. He has rushed 18 times for 192 yards, averaging 10.7 yards in the tutty.
Yeah.
And a 64-yarder.
Yeah. And so just kind of keep an eye. One of those teams that, you coming in, and I don't know how much you thought about it, but you'll get a chance. They beat, because I think Ole Miss is 12 or 13 in the country. They put up 50 on Ole Miss, and you'll get their attention because this is kind of the brutal part of the SEC. We've gone through so many schedules like this. Florida schedules like this, Oklahoma schedules like this. They get Ole Miss and then Memphis, and then Notre Dame, Tennessee, Texas A&M, Auburn, LSU, Texas, Missouri. I mean,
seems hard.
Dude, some of the schedules in the SEC are just freaking nuts.
Well, and you wonder why they think they're the best.
Yeah.
Because they are.
Got to win national titles. Big Ten.
How many teams could go through that?
No.
And
that's the only thing. You can bitch and moan about the SEC, but you don't want your team, whether you're in the Big Ten, certainly the ACC or the Big 12, you do not want. You're telling me if you were an Oregon fan and you were staring down, because again, I think Oregon is as good as anyone, if not the best team in the country. You tell me if you're Oregon, Buck's a big duck guy. You want Ole Miss, Notre Dame, Tennessee, A&M, Auburn, LSU, Texas, and Missouri, and the only break in there to be Mississippi State?
Hell no.
You want that?
No.
Oh.
I want Northwestern, Purdue, Indiana.
It's just, it's different.
UCLA. Wait. Yeah, UCLA.
UCLA.
Wait, let me look at their schedule.
Okay, so they've got Northwestern, Oregon State, Penn State, Indiana.
Okay.
Rutgers.
Yeah.
Wisconsin. Iowa, Minnesota, SC, and Washington.
Yeah.
One of these things is not like the other. And it doesn't mean that they're better than Oregon, but Oregon might have a slightly different record if you had to play Arkansas' schedule versus the one you're playing. Although I would like to hear the pregame speeches coming out of those.
Coming out of which?
Lanning. We get some.
Which games, though?
Well, any of the SEC games. Be great.
Oh, yeah.
I want those messages.
Yeah. You think he did that when he was defensive coordinator at Georgia?
Nah, well, I don't know. Kirby's kind of a fiery
Maybe
guy.
in defensive meetings at some point when you have the whole defense. I don't know. So does that happen during the week in your prep? Does the OC or the DC stand up in front of one side of the ball and give him something like that?
Yeah, you'll have that, but not quite like that. Those are usually saved for, game day. Yes. The defensive coordinator would have some speeches and meetings or whatever, but the whole getting ready to run out on the field and all that is, that's your head coach.
We don't need any extra motivation to come in and want to whoop your ass.
Boy, I wish I could have some of the ones that I received over the years to play on the air. You would be like, what?
We spend to win.